The city is a skeleton, its bones jutting out at odd angles, broken and bare. I move through the ruins of Los Angeles like a shadow, small and light, weaving between toppled streetlights and shattered walls. Concrete crumbles beneath my fingers, dust settling on my skin, and every step sends tiny clouds of ash spiraling into the night. My hands brush against jagged metal, and for a fraction of a second, I catch the glint of something smooth and cold. Footsteps echo behind me, boots crunching over broken glass. Voices shout, rough, panicked, full of fear and anger. Humans. They never stop hunting, never stop fearing what they don't understand. I flatten myself against a wall, tiny frame pressed into the cracks, and hold my breath. The smell of smoke and burnt wood fills my nostrils, sharp and acrid, and I taste the dust in the air. I slip through shadows like water, movements precise and quiet. Light catches along my arms, and for a fleeting moment, the faint shimmer of scales glints back. It is subtle, almost impossible to notice unless you're looking for it, but it reminds me that I am not quite like the humans I evade. My small size is an advantage. I duck under beams, slip through narrow gaps, and cling to surfaces that would trap larger prey. I remember the first time I realized I wasn't like them. A boy, maybe 12, trembling with a rifle. His wide eyes froze on me, or what he thought he saw, but before he could aim properly, I was gone. Smaller, lighter, faster than he expected, I slipped past his grasp like smoke. His scream echoed long after I disappeared, mingling with the wind through the skeletal streets. I move on, climbing over a rusted car, claws scraping lightly along metal. The sound is muted, almost imperceptible, yet it makes me aware of every vibration beneath me. The human's shouts drift upward. Angry, frustrated. Fear laced through every syllable. Mutant. Monster. Their words are sharp, but they do not see me. They cannot. Night wraps around me, heavy and cold. I pause on a crumbling rooftop, crouch low, peering down at the streets below. Fires burn in distant blocks, smoke curling like skeletal fingers into the sky. I flex my tail against the beam, feeling it adjust my balance, subtle but essential. My chest rises slowly, breathing controlled, quiet. Each inhale and exhale calculated. Sometimes I catch myself in puddles or shards of glass. Eyes too bright, narrow pupils catching the faint light. Scales along my forearms glint almost invisibly. Claws grip the concrete beneath me. Longer and sharper than a human's should be. I brush it off. It doesn't matter what I look like, only that I survive. Hours pass. I move through empty streets, slipping between shadows and debris. Every corner hides potential danger, every ruin building a possible trap. Yet in this silence, I feel alive in a way humans never could. The wind carries distant shouts, barking commands, and the occasional clatter of rubble. Their fear shapes the city, and I navigate it unseen. Eventually, I find a hollowed-out high-rise for shelter. A ruined floor leans precariously over the street below, dust falling like rain whenever the wind shifts. I curl into the shadows, small and silent, listening to distant boots and voices. Somewhere deep in my chest, a quiet satisfaction coils. They think they are hunting a human. They have no idea what hunts back. Tomorrow, I will move again, tiny and unseen, slipping through gaps and shadows, climbing, ducking, surviving. Even ghosts have shape, and mine is only beginning to show its edges. Night falls like a heavy curtain over the ruined city, and I move through it as if I belong to the darkness itself. My small frame slips between toppled streetlights, broken walls, and the skeletal remains of collapsed buildings. Every sound is amplified. The hiss of wind through broken glass, the distant scrape of rubble, the soft scuff of boots far below. Humans. Always humans. They hunt without rest, driven by fear and confusion. I pause on a crumbling rooftop, crouched low listening. The faint murmur of their voices reaches me first, then the clatter of boots as they shuffle over uneven ground. They are searching. They are close. I flex my tail, using it to balance on the narrow ledge, tiny claws gripping the concrete. I am small, light, and silent, a shadow among shadows. A lone human steps cautiously into the street below, rifle raised. His eyes flick toward me, or so he thinks, but I stay still, coiled like a spring. The wind carries his whispered curse, and for a moment, I consider letting him see the truth. Instead, I move before he can react, sliding along the wall, through a narrow gap between debris, leaving him staring at nothing. I remember the first time I realized how different I was. My reflexes, faster than thought. My grip on surfaces no human could hold. The strange sheen along my forearms in dim light. At first, I thought it was fear driving me, instinct sharpening every movement. Now I know it is innate. Something in me, older than this ruined city, stronger than humans imagine. The group below stumbles over a fallen beam, shouts echoing in frustration. Where did it go? One yells. Get it. Another commands. Their fear is tangible, rolling through the streets like smoke. I move silently along the shadows, skirting the edge of their light, tiny hands brushing broken brick and twisted metal. The faintest shimmer along my scales catches a glint from a distant fire, but I do not pause. Exposure is death. Hours pass. I climb over rusted cars, slip through gaps in walls, and duck beneath beams that would trap a larger creature. Each narrow escape sharpens my awareness. Every sound, every vibration, every faint movement in the distance is a signal. I notice the humans' pattern, how they hesitate at obstacles, how their eyes dart at shadows. Small, unnoticed advantages. My size, my agility, my reflexes, they have no idea. Sometimes, in puddles or broken glass, I catch glimpses of myself. Scales along forearms glinting faintly, pupils narrowing as light shifts, the subtle outline of a tail brushing against walls. I flex claws against concrete, feeling their sharpness, aware of what humans cannot yet perceive. Even the smallest motion reveals something strange, something otherworldly. But I am careful. They must not see. Eventually, I find refuge in a hollowed-out building, leaning precariously over a street below. Dust falls like slow rain whenever the wind stirs. I curl into the shadows, listening to distant shouts, boots pounding against concrete, human frustration carrying on the wind. Somewhere deep inside, a strange satisfaction coils. They think they are hunting a human. They think they understand what hunts them. They do not. Tomorrow, I will move again, slipping through gaps and shadows, climbing, ducking, surviving. Even ghosts have shape, and mine is only beginning to show its edges. The city feels alive tonight, though it's long since dead. Every broken street, every toppled building hums with echoes. Echoes of fear, of human voices hunting, of metal scraping against concrete. I move carefully, small and silent, slipping through narrow cracks and shadowed alleys. My tail brushes against walls, helping me balance along precarious beams. My claws scrape lightly against metal and stone, precise, controlled. Humans are close. I can feel the vibrations through the ground, hear the whispered curses carried on the wind. Their boots pound the ruined streets, voices shouting commands, panic lacing each syllable. They think they know what they hunt. They do not. I slip into a narrow alley, the walls pressing close. A lone human steps around a corner, rifle raised. He freezes. His eyes widen, scanning the shadows. I shift, too fast for him to follow, sliding along the wall with a grace no human could possess. The glint of scales along my forearm catches the faint light from a distant fire, just for a moment. He blinks and I am gone. The humans are getting clever, setting traps, trying to corner me in the narrower streets. I dart across rooftops, through gaps between buildings, small enough to escape places they cannot follow. Every move is calculated, precise, instinctive. Every shadow is mine. My chest rises and falls with measured breaths, pupils narrowing in the dim light, tail curling for balance as I leap. A shout cuts through the wind. There. I see it. Boots pound closer. I pause on a ledge, crouch low, and let them pass underneath me. I glance down. They are searching, frustrated, panicked, blind to what moves above them, above their comprehension. And then, reflection in a broken window. There it is, undeniable. Scales glinting under the faint glow of distant fires, sharp claws gripping the concrete, a tail flicking almost imperceptibly behind me. My pupils narrow. catching light in a way human eyes never could. The full truth presses against the edge of the shadows. I leap small, fast, landing silently behind another pile of rubble. The humans hesitate, shouting again, realizing too late that the survivor they've been chasing is not human at all. Their fear sharpens, understanding dawning, but not fast enough. I slip through a narrow gap under beams past walls, leaving only fleeting glimpses of what I am. Even in my small form, I am more than they imagined. Agile, silent, unseen, more predator than prey. They have called me a monster for years, and now finally, they are right. But they are still far from understanding me. I curl into the shadows, tiny and hidden, tail coiled beneath me, claws sharp, eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. The city stretches out beneath me, broken, abandoned, and mine to move through. They are left below, confused, afraid, and powerless. And I am free.